Winning Cures Everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in Monday, July the 6th. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And this is Winning Cures Everything. We are ready to rock and roll. Hope everybody had a wonderful July 4th weekend. Lots and lots of fireworks. Some buddies of mine spent around $200 on fireworks for the weekend. I did not. I watched everybody else's in the neighborhood. I could literally look out my back porch and see fireworks going off. I could look out the front porch and see fireworks going off. Did you have this same thing? Did it seem like everybody had their own just gigantic city bunch of fireworks?
I know that my neighborhood went kind of all out. It was nuts. Bigger than they've ever done before in the 6 years of us living here.
I have never seen fireworks this big in a neighborhood in my life.
I think it's because the city municipalities didn't do a big show, so everybody stayed home and did them themselves. And I think it's just one of those things. People are cooped up. Normally, I spend $20, $30, $50 on fireworks. This year, the hell with it. Let's invite everybody over. Let's barbecue and let's blow some shit up just because we're letting off some steam, man.
I think you're probably right. That seemed to be what was going on. So, again, hopefully everybody had a wonderful, safe July 4th weekend.
Yeah, to keep all your fingers and toes. We make sure that's all together.
We want to make sure everybody's got their fingers and toes. We know all of that.
Take care of your dogs. The older I've gotten, I've become very much the crotchety old man who used to love fireworks, super hypocritical of me, and now I loathe them because my dog just loves me and only me in this house, and he is terrified of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and he's not a small dog. If he was a little dog that I could just hold, it'd be fine. He doesn't know he's 70 pounds.
of pure muscle. Of pure muscle.
Solid rock. So it's not anything cushy or soft laying on you.
No, you got that right. You got that right. All right, everybody go check out winningcureseverything.com. That is the website. All of our picks, previews, podcasts, videos, social media platforms can be found over there. You will find us this fall for the college football season over at sportsbookreview.com or sbrvids.com. Or over on the Sportsbook Review YouTube. You can go subscribe to that already. But starting in August, all of our college football content will be over there. We'll still be doing NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, UFC, everything else right over here. But college football, we will be over there. So make sure you go and check that out as well. If you are not subscribed to any of the live platforms or to the podcast, make sure you go and knock that out. Do us a favor. Help us out. We would definitely appreciate it. The podcast, we are on all of your favorite platforms. If you're on Apple Podcasts, go leave a nice review. We are steadily climbing the charts over there. We appreciate all of you that have already done that. But leave a review and share the show out. Tell your friends about it. We would definitely appreciate that. We're on Periscope. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. And we are on YouTube. Twitch, maybe having some problems today. I'm not sure what's going on. It wouldn't let me update the title to the show.
That's no fun.
So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, so anybody that hops in, of course, if you're watching the show live, down in the bottom left-hand corner of our screen, you will see the chat box. You can help drive the show. You can jump in and help develop the narrative of how we're going to talk about these things. First things first, let's go on and jump into a fun topic to start us off. It happened just maybe a couple of hours ago, if that. But Patrick Mahomes signs a massive 10-year contract extension, so that is on top of the 2 years that he already has left on his rookie deal right now, and it is $450 million, sources tell ESPN.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, Lord, yes. The injury guarantee is $140 million per Adam Schefter. The contract does not contain language that ties its value to a percentage of the salary cap. It is
good for the Chiefs.
Yes, it is the richest deal in sports history. So my first question to you, we talked about this a little bit before we came on. Is there a single other player that you would sign for 12 years in the NFL?
Today, right now, currently?
Right
no.
now.
Right now, currently, no. And the only other player in the last 10 years, maybe not 10, 10 years of rookies that I would have is probably Russell Wilson. He won his Super Bowl his second year in the league. Patrick won his third year in the league. If you could have locked Russell up for 12 years after his rookie deal was over, I think it would finish about the same time, 2025. Yeah. So it'd finish about where his contract extension now is going to finish, but you would have locked him in under the richest number back then and not the richest number today. And that would have saved you a bunch of money and made that deal just super team friendly, but also given him a lot of security and a big mega monster contract.
Yeah. Now you were bringing up to me before we jumped on interesting things about quarterbacks that are on their rookie deals. You want to dive into that?
Yeah. So this is not about Mahomes. Okay. So I kind of hate taking the spotlight off of him because this is the day to celebrate Patrick. All right. This is an elite specimen that we are going to get to watch. Hopefully he can stay healthy and we can watch him for years to come. But I went back and looked and I was curious. I think, and I catch criticism with our friends that we talk about this with because quarterback is the most important position to get right. Okay. I believe that's not true anymore. And I don't think it's been true for a long time. You can't get it wrong. You can't have Deshaun Kaiser. All right. You can't be bad at quarterback, but you can be serviceable at quarterback on a rookie deal is more valuable than a really good quarterback on a bad on an expensive deal. Not even a bad deal, just a fair value deal to them. But a rookie quarterback that's lesser is way worth more. I went back the last 10 years of Super Bowls, okay? The last 10 Super Bowls, 20 starting quarterbacks. 9 of the 20 starting quarterbacks, 9 of them were on rookie deals. I think that's really important.
That's a massive
number. Some
number.
of them are not very good quarterbacks at all, in my opinion. And we could have gone back even further. I just stopped at a decade.
Yeah, the last 10 is much more current with what's going on. It's modern NFL.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. I mean, this doesn't have Trent Dilfer on it. This doesn't have Brad Johnson on it. Like, we could name off guys that have won Super Bowls that are terrible, and these are just Super Bowl winners. You're even talking about the other guys that they played against. In those 10 Super Bowls, only 2 of them were both quarterbacks not on the rookie deal. Both quarterbacks have gotten paid and their extension only twice in 10 years. That was 2015, Peyton Manning, Cam Newton, and that was 2016, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. And in the Matt Ryan deal, that was Matt Ryan's first year off of his rookie deal. So the rest of that team that was loaded when he got paid was still pretty much intact. And as soon as his money started coming in, talent started falling off because they can't keep paying these guys.
Well, the Cam Newton one was 2015?
2015.
So that was – he was drafted in 2010.
Yeah.
Or it was 2011.
Then maybe he was on his rookie deal still. I think he had signed an extension because I didn't see him on his rookie deal when I was looking through it. But
I'm looking right now.
If you can find it faster than me.
Nope. He got a signing bonus for $15.5 million that year. His roster bonus was $7.5.
Yeah, I thought that was the first year of his extension too.
Yep, that's what it was. So he got 2011, 2012, 2013.
But that means the rest of that team was built on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
And then as soon as his rookie deal was over and he started getting his money, the talent had to start dropping off elsewhere because they couldn't pay anybody. I think rookie deals are really valuable. I've said this before. I like Dak Prescott a whole lot. I wouldn't be upset with him being my quarterback. If he wants $35 to $40 million, if he wants Mahomes money, then I would punt him down the road tomorrow and just take my chances with another quarterback because college quarterbacks are so good coming into the year if the team is loaded. You put them to the Jets and they're trash. Why? Because the Jets are trash.
Yeah.
But if you put him with a capable combat, we don't think Josh Allen has anything productive to bring to the table. But we think the Bills are freaking loaded.
Yes, 100%.
So Josh Allen makes the playoffs because they're loaded. If they somehow would have picked up Deshaun Watson instead of Josh Allen, then holy hell, that's a Super Bowl team.
You are 100% right.
I just think you don't have to get the Tom Brady, the Russell Wilson, the Patrick Mahomes. You don't have to get the elitist of the elite, the Peyton Mannings. You don't have to get those guys. You just can't get your Deshaun Kaisers. You just if that Cowboys team was more prepared for a quarterback on a rookie deal, which Tony Romo hurt them because their quarterback room, while their starting quarterback wouldn't get paid a lot, their quarterback room had a lot of money coming on it because Tony, even when he retired, was still owed a lot of money, and that goes to dead cap.
Yeah.
So they couldn't just load up on talent. Now they have, and he's now getting off that rookie deal, and they're finally at a point where they're doing that. They've missed that window. Let me tell you how important I think rookie money is, okay? Two guys played in a Super Bowl together 10 years ago exactly, 2010. Aaron Rodgers was on his second year starting as a quarterback, okay? Has not made it back to a Super Bowl since he's gotten paid. Ben Roethlisberger had made it to his third Super Bowl on his rookie deal. Has not made it back since getting paid.
Yeah.
At some point in time, we thought Aaron Rodgers was crazy, stupid, elite. And he was. We've watched his talent. He did things with the football we've never seen before. Where's his titles? Hell, where's his playoff runs? I mean, it's okay to make it to the Super Bowl and lose sometimes. He took too much. He took too much of the apple.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough there for the rest of them. And then you pitch and you complain because you don't have talent. Like, and the one guy that went to 9 of these bastards kept taking pay cuts, and they still weren't loading him up with talent. But they weren't getting star talent. They were getting offensive linemen. They were getting running backs. They were getting a bunch of defensive players. They got volume of talent, not value of talent. They went with quantity, not quality. They didn't get stars at the Patriots. They got a whole lot of 3 stars. They were Mississippi State. If Dan Mullins was an NFL coach, he'd be Bill Belichick. He just loads up with 9 million 3 stars and like 2 5 stars, and that's it.
And then finds a way to build them up.
And finds a way to make it work.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That makes sense. Yeah, I think overall, I mean, obviously there's not anybody else that I feel like this would be a good deal for, but this will more than likely end up being a team-friendly deal.
If he's healthy in 6 years and playing at the rate that he's playing at in 6 years, there'll be 12 quarterbacks making $45 million a year.
Yes, I agree.
He'll be paid in the top third or maybe bottom of the top third, middle of the middle third of quarterbacks. And he'll be a value. Right now, he ain't a value.
Not yet.
I'm curious what that team's going to look like, but they've got a lot of young talent on that team right now. So I think they'll lose some defensive players. They're not great defensively anyway, but they got a lot of young talent. Everybody else hadn't gotten paid yet. I think they'll let a lot of those skill guys walk, and they'll just try to replace them. But that's something Andy Reid has been doing forever.
Yeah, no, he certainly has.
He never really paid a lot of skill guys to begin with.
Damian jumps in on YouTube. He said the Chiefs are going to regret paying Mahomes that much in the future, just like the Bears are regretting the Khalil Mack trade.
I don't know if they regret the Khalil Mack trade. I think they regret the Trubisky trade is what they regret.
Yeah, I don't think they regret Khalil Mack because the defense is still good. But you need both sides of the ball to make it work.
We keep saying that if the Bears had taken Mahomes because he's the best quarterback to come out of that draft, but he was a project and a risk. If they would have taken Watson, who everyone kind of thought was the best quarterback coming out of that draft, instead of Mitchell, the Bears would have played in an NFC championship game, I believe.
Yes.
At least.
Ben jumps in on Twitch, so I guess Twitch is working. He said 10 years is a long time. It's definitely a long time, but look, the way that the NFL contracts are set up, it ties Patrick Mahomes to the Chiefs for the next 12 years. it does not necessarily tie the Chiefs to Patrick Mahomes for that long.
We don't know that
we don't know
he
the
doesn't have opt-out clause or anything like that. Only $140 million of this is guaranteed, guys.
Yeah, that's injury guarantee. So,
Like,
so while it's a big number,
if his talent falls off and they send him by the wayside, that I think there's ways for them to get out of this money.
Well, I mean, our group chat.
This hurts the team at all.
Yeah.
And not like I said, if he's getting paid $45 million the last 5 years of this deal, that's half the deal. I bet he'll be a lower than top 10 paid quarterback. There'll be 10 other quarterbacks making more than him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. You said in the group chat that we're in, you kind of compared it to Andy Dalton, right?
So I brought up the Andy Dalton deal. People always talk about the bad deals, and we all saw the Andy Dalton deal. Okay. And everybody in the league that wrote about it said, first they said, oh, that's an insane amount of money. He ain't close to worth that. And I agreed with that statement. And then they looked at the language and they were like, oh, there's so many ways for them to get out of this deal. It'll never be a bad deal. It's only great for the team because the team has so much flexibility to get out of it. But Andy Dalton played through that entire deal. He got all that obscene money that he wasn't close to worth because teams get stupid with the quarterback position.
Yes.
It's like they can look analytically at every other position in football, and they can evaluate it so intelligently. And with the quarterback, it's just like they take their normal brain out and they put some like moronic gorilla brain in, and they're just like, do whatever. We can't not have a quarterback because the worst case scenario, you end up with somebody like Jared Goff, who's not a whole lot different than Andy Dalton, but a lot cheaper. Okay. All right. Let's try that out because it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
You might hit Pater. You might strike gold and get a Deshaun Watson. You might strike gold and get a Mahomes.
And here's the difference in the deal.
Carson Wentz, who gets hurt all the damn time. I wouldn't have paid him. I was on the record of saying that rookie deal is what got them to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Not him playing at an MVP level. Because he hasn't looked like an MVP since he's gotten paid because that team is no longer loaded.
Correct.
Because he got paid.
That team deal for the Cincinnati Bengals with Andy Dalton, they never paid him in a season more than, let's see, the first year of his deal. He got a roster bonus, a signing bonus, and his salary that paid him a little over $18 million. Yeah. And then in the next year, he made $7.2 million.
He made going
$10 million, $13 million, $14 million, and then $16 million in his last year.
We all thought there's no way he was going to get that $16 million. And if you don't pay him the 16, it's really not a bad deal. Guess what?
But look at what we're talking about here. That is $16 million for a starting quarterback. And now we're talking about Dak Prescott maybe making 40.
That ain't happening. That's just not happening.
I know, but that's what he wants.
If I'm Jerry Jones, I am drawing a line in the sand right now, and I'm saying I am not paying this kid the same amount of money that Patrick Mahomes making. I'm just not doing it. While I love Dak, and I think Dak is a really good football player, he ain't close to the man Mahomes is when you stripe him up on the field.
No,
he's just not close.
You are correct.
And I love the guy. I love him to death. But if he was willing to take a $32 million deal tomorrow, I think that would be a fair deal for his value. Not as good as if they find somebody the equivalency of Andy Dalton on a rookie deal, though.
Yeah. And right now, I mean, they got Andy Dalton for pennies.
They'll have him for $7 million if he starts at all. If Dak gets hurt, basically, because he signed his franchise tag.
Still pennies.
No, it's nothing. That's right. No, that's the equivalency of a rookie deal. Rookie quarterbacks are making about that. It's just the rookie deal matters too much. I mean, I talked about how last year I was so upset with the Browns. Week 3 going into week 4 when I went to the game, I knew if they don't win this game and they don't look marketably better than they looked the first 3 weeks, they are going to waste an entire season of a quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Patrick Mahomes made it to the AFC title game his second year. Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl his second year. Baker's second year, was supposed to be this coming of age, but instead the team was loaded. The team was ready. Baker was bad. The coaching was bad.
Yeah.
Flat out, 2 problems, and we wasted a year of that. You cannot waste these rookie years. They are worth more than anything you've got to your franchise.
Agreed. Damian jumps in. He said, question, do y'all think that these teams that are paying these quarterbacks all this crazy amount of money, like Cam and Mahomes, which Cam made nothing, but Mahomes is just to prevent them from signing Kaepernick? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Like, this has nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick at all. This is the going rate.
Everyone in the world knew the Chiefs couldn't let Patrick walk.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the best football player on the planet right now. Okay.
Yeah. Ben jumps in, by the way, on Twitch. He said, the world is not one big Kaepernick conspiracy.
No.
It's not. Ben's dead on here.
It's just not. And Kaepernick is getting paid. Kaepernick has just signed 2 major TV deals, one with Netflix, one with Disney. That Kaepernick is doing something else. That's not when you sign your Netflix deal and the Disney deal. He ain't coming back.
And his Nike deal that pays him more than $10 million a year.
Yeah, he's not. But the Nike deal is you can do the Nike deal and play football. Agreed. Those go hand in hand. You can't do the Netflix deal and play football. You can't because the amount of time to make those shows. That is not something that you can do. Kaepernick is not playing football. He has chosen, and it could have been a league thing. It could have been that, all right, I tried for 3-4 years. Nobody wanted me. I thought there would be some teams to try to go get him. I don't think they can make the money work. He wants $20 million to play. Supposedly, that number has been floated out.
Yeah.
And teams aren't going to pay $20 million for somebody they haven't seen for 4 years.
Or somebody that's a backup. Damian said Kaepernick still doesn't have a team, though. Yeah, of course not. I mean, he's doing all of these other things. But
neither did Cam. Cam literally just signed for $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, his official salary this year is $550,000.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of incentives and whatnot that can boost him
up.
I
know people personally right now that live in Olive Branch that are going to make that this year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's ridiculous. That's insane. So
yeah, but the incentives and whatnot help that out.
And somebody else is willing to pay for 1. It's a math problem. It's not a we don't want that guy problem.
Yeah.
It's now a math problem.
Like
and here's the thing, Cap's numbers should be 20 because Netflix is going to throw him 80. And now it's over.
Yeah.
Now I can't why would I turn down all of this money
to come back and play in a sport where I would be a backup?
A game for a fraction of that.
Yeah.
So now it's a math problem the other side.
Yeah.
I don't want to play because I'd have to give up too damn much.
No, you're dead.
And how many eyeballs are going to see him when he plays in the NFL as opposed to how many eyeballs will see him on Netflix? Netflix goes worldwide.
I mean, it does go worldwide, but I don't know, man. NFL is pretty big. So
the NFL is big, but there's 16 games at once.
Yeah,
not watching all of them.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Let's move off of that. Let's jump into the Pac-12. This is our only college football topic of the day because I don't want to talk about all the negative stuff with the idea of schedules moving and whatever else.
Well, we don't have any information either. So.
Yeah, not yet. We will have something on the Ivy League tomorrow, which could kind of set a precedent. But we'll dive into that tomorrow.
I'm gonna disagree with that. The SEC don't give one hot red damn what the Ivy League does.
Okay,
I will bet every dollar I got on that. They might do the same thing, but it ain't because those guys did it.
No. The Ivy League doesn't like it. They're not gonna. Anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow is when that's gonna go. Damian jumped back in and said Cap wants to play. I don't think he does.
He just signed a monster TV deal. You can't sign TV deals and want to play.
Yeah, it's just
there's not enough hours in the day to do both.
Yeah, it really,
especially if you haven't played in 4 years.
No, you got it right. So, but anyway, off of the Kaepernick stuff, off of whatever else. Pac-12. John Canzano, who writes for the Oregonian. Look, this guy knows the Pac-12 in and out better than anybody else, maybe in the world. He is the one that wrote all of the investigative pieces last summer and for years before. He has been all in on Larry Scott and the Pac-12. He's the one that told everybody how much they make, how much they pay in San Francisco, for their headquarters, et cetera, right? This interesting article, I'm going to read a little bit of it so that you can get the premise of where we're going with this.
Yep.
Employees at the Pac-12 Conference and Pac-12 networks were enjoying the first hours of a scheduled holiday week office closure last Wednesday when they were hit with a sobering staff-wide email from Commissioner Larry Scott. The conference bosses had ordered pay cuts. Scott relayed the bad news to the staff via an email obtained by the Oregonian, Oregon Live. Scott wrote, "Our CEO group approved our conference budget for this coming year, which includes a 9% overall decrease in expenses, along with salary reductions for employees making over $100,000 in annual salary. The salary reductions were effective immediately and will remain in effect for the next 12 months. Employees making six figures received pay reductions ranging from 5 to 10%. Scott, who makes $5.3 million, revealed in the email that he would be taking a compensation reduction of 12%. The quote is, "You do the math." One longtime Pac-12 employee said, "People are trying to survive in San Francisco. Simply put, Scott should have cut his salary in half and saved the staff from cuts that crush staffers." We've talked about this forever, about how much they're paying to be in San Francisco when other conferences are paying pennies to be in smaller cities, smaller spaces, cutting expenses back, because why on earth would you host your television network in a place where it costs so damn much? Downtown San Francisco is some of the most expensive real estate property in the world. It's absurd.
Hang on. The SEC network is based out of a state that doesn't have an SEC football team.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's cheap.
Yeah. And on top of that, the
Atlanta,
SEC.
You know why they're not in Nashville? The two cities in the SEC are the two biggest cities, because those cities are marketably more expensive to be in
than Birmingham,
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, and Birmingham is where the SEC office is located.
And that's not big enough to be there. Can't have it there. That's not big enough. That's cheap. You still have to be in a big city with a major international airport. Okay. That's a must. You got to get talent in and out. I understand you need to be in a big city. They can't go to Spokane. All right. I understand Spokane would be cheap. They can't go there, but they could go to many other cities far cheaper than that. Me and you've said this before. Last 3 years, Larry Scott should have been hurled out a window.
Yes.
Okay. And just beaten to a pulp and just launched across the Grand Canyon when he's fired. This guy, his pay cut should go to 100% pay cut.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's what we're getting to.
The meat of the report. This report is they're considering buying him out.
Well, let me get into it. It says there's serious talk amongst the Pac-12 CEO group, said one high-level conference administrator, to end his contract ahead of the expiration date to have a fighting chance to save the conference networks. This is what's nuts. The Pac-12 network reaches fewer than 18 million households.
He signed so many bad deals and cost that conference so much money. He took major college football programs, monsters like USC and Oregon, up-and-coming monsters like Washington, and he's crippled them monetarily compared to the Big Ten, the SEC, and coming up the ACC.
Yeah.
Because he's bad at his job. No one else did this. No other entity or faction affected this. He has been poor at his job for too long, and they've signed too many bad deals, and therefore they are falling woefully behind when they have facilities and universities that should be competing at elite levels.
Yes, 100%. Ben jumps in and said they should go to Vegas or Phoenix.
And Vegas would be the best place for them if you're talking financially.
Yeah, because you don't have to be right in the middle.
I like that they're in the SEC's in a state, in an area where they don't have – the only place that I would be okay with them going to would be Nashville, because nobody's worried about them being biased to Vanderbilt, all right? But, like, other than that, I like that they're in a place where I don't have to worry about too many locals running the program.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from.
And Vegas is a lot cheaper than anywhere in California.
Yes. I mean, you can get spots out there for,
and you can fly
cheap.
people in and out of there just ridiculously cheap.
The biggest issue that he has right now, obviously, coaches and there's a lot of people that want Larry Scott out. right? He has not run this thing very well. He tried to do things differently, but he didn't put a lot of forethought into this. And now, rather than cutting his own salary in half or by even more, he decided to cut everybody, all of his staffers and whatnot that are at the network.
Taking a guy making $100,000 a year and dropping him to 90 is a big deal when that person lives in San Francisco.
Yes, that's a massive deal. And on top of that, you've done that with a ton of different staffers there that were on your side.
Now they're gone.
And now they're not. So now there's nobody left on your side.
If he has any skeletons in his closet, they are coming out. All these people are going to dime his ass out. And I would too.
It's a bad look. And to come out and brag that you took a 12% pay cut when these other guys that are making a 1/100th of what you make.
You've been the reason your conference is hemorrhaging money.
Yes. It is not a good look.
But hang on now. These commissioners, these presidents are the ones that re-upped his deal when he was really bad at his job already. He didn't just get paid and get this big deal and then all of a sudden start being bad at his job. He got a second contract after being really bad at his job. So they got to own some of this shit. Okay.
Yeah, the presidents do. But not the ADs, not the, they weren't the ones that voted.
Not the staffers. Not even that. No.
No, I'm talking about like the
need to own the thing. All the flaws that are going on with this guy, with Larry Scott, are the presidents have to wear all of that.
Oh yes,
and
yes,
they need to find somebody to come in that place and shake it up, man.
So with the CEO group looking at the idea of buying him out now, we'll see what happens next. I mean, who knows who could end up being the next guy?
Gets bought out because I'm going to bet his buyout's big ass shit.
Oh, I bet it's massive. But it looks to be coming up pretty soon. So we'll see. But that's very interesting stuff that's going on right now. You wouldn't expect that right before a football season, but it's gotten to a breaking point. So we'll keep an eye on the Pac-12. We'll see what's going on with that. Let's move on to Jorge Masvidal. Gamebred comes in 6 days' notice to save the day for UFC 251 this coming weekend. Look, Burns against Usman was boring. It's great to come back and see Kamara Usman fight, but nobody wanted to watch him fight against Burns. They wanted to watch him fight against Jorge Masvidal. And instead, they gave us Burns. Burns, for whatever reason, couldn't make the trip over to Fight Island. So then they call up Gamebred, and they figure this thing out. He signs a new multi-fight contract. He gets all the stuff that, not everything that he wanted, he said in his interviews, but he got most of it, which made him happy. And now he has been training this whole time. And now, interesting thing about this, he said he has to lose 20 pounds in 6 days for this fight to go down. Well, I guess in 5 days for this thing to go down. But I think he's going to get it done. I'm not going to give a preview yet. We'll talk about this Wednesday. You're hosting the show solo on Thursday and Friday, so we'll do a little preview on Wednesday night. But, this is a massive, massive fight. These two, for anybody that doesn't watch a whole lot of UFC, these two got into it on Radio Row down at the Super Bowl. They have been at each other's throats for months and months and months, and they are insanely entertaining fighters. This is going to be a fight that you do not want to miss. This pay-per-view with Jorge Masvidal coming back in and jumping on this one, it's going to boost it 400,000.
It should be awesome. And then the reviews on any other platform where you can find it are going to be massive.
It's going to be insane. UFC needed this done. They needed Masvidal back in. Damian jumps in and says Masvidal needs to fight Nate Diaz again. Look, after this, there's no risk in this. You come in and you save a fight, you sell a bunch of pay-per-views, you make a bunch of money. It doesn't matter if you win or lose one way or the other. You came in on short notice to fight for a belt. If you lose, that's fine. You came in on short notice. If you win, even better. And then you get to fight
20 pounds in that short of a span and have strength.
It's tough.
It's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
It's tough, but these dudes do it a lot. So
I know they do. Oh no, they know what they're doing. They know how to cut weight, but it's not what you want. Okay, if you want to be really strong and you want to be peaking.
No, you're right. But
if
this
you had a
guy's
normal fight camp,
yeah,
you'd be peaking right about that point at that weight. And now
that's what he says he's been doing. He's been having a normal fight camp.
He hasn't been doing that to try to get to this weight, though. Nobody's trying to cut 20 pounds in a week.
No, you're probably right about that. But this is a fantastic development. I am so excited about this. He was the fighter of the year last year. Yeah. Just bottom line, his fastest knockout in UFC history against Ben Askren, his BMF title against Nate Diaz, knocking out Till. Like, he is, and he's been doing this for 17 years. Like, he is at the height of his popularity right now. And this is the perfect fight to make. Give him a shot at the belt. Let's go out and get this thing done. I can't wait for it. I absolutely cannot wait. This is going to be incredibly entertaining television. So on Saturday night, we'll get to watch something that's actually worth watching. There you go. And there's 2 other championship fights as well. Jose Aldo's coming back. You know, you got a bunch of other stuff going on. It's going to be a good time. So let's jump off of that one. We'll make that one a fast topic. Next one, let's jump back into the NFL here. The Redskins minority owners are looking to sell their stake in the team. Now, before I dive into the specifics here, are you surprised at all that this is going down after what we found out last week?
No, I'm not surprised. And I want to hold off on these people looking like heroes who are trying to sell their stake in the team. These folks have made a lot of money. When they bought the team, it wasn't worth a fraction of what it's worth right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So while it's minority shares, it's still going to be worth a lot of money to them. All right? They're not taking pay cuts. They didn't take a loss. They didn't do anything. Yeah. They made a lot of money, and they're getting out. And I'll tell you that getting out, the NFL network of owners is really small, okay? Really small. If they want to be NFL owners, they can just buy minority shares in another team with the money that they make off of the Redskins.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty easy for them to still be allowed to be an NFL owner because they've already been vetted. They've already been through the process. They're already owners. It's not that hard.
These are the guys, by the way. Let me dive into this.
Yeah.
It's prominent businessmen Robert Rothman, Dwight Scharr, and Frederick W. Smith, who everybody knows is the CEO of FedEx. Yep. They own a combined about 40% of the team. They've hired an investment banking firm to undergo a search for possible buyers, sources told the Washington Post. Daniel Snyder was a little surprised at it because, I mean, he considered these guys to be friends.
Well, with Fred Smith and FedEx, it's called FedEx Field, and that's a partnership. Yeah. And so,
yeah, no, you're right. I'm curious. You know, I don't think there's going to be any shortage of people that are looking to get into this spot.
Me neither.
So I don't know that this is a massive ordeal.
Nope.
And I think that they will be able to buy into.
There will be another field named FedEx Field by next year. By 2021, if Fred Smith sells his stake, he will have stakes somewhere else, and there will be another field named FedEx Field.
Yeah,
very shortly.
I think you're probably right. So I will say this: the New Orleans Superdome does not currently have a title sponsor.
They were the Mercedes-Benz, and Mercedes went and got Atlanta, and once their contract was up with New Orleans, they walked out. Yeah, no.
So, and New Orleans is, of course, closer to Memphis.
Hell of a lot closer to Fred. But of course, the world is close to Fred because he owns a billion airplanes.
Yeah, he owns everything. So
he has more airplanes than anyone in the world, and I don't think getting places is a problem for him.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see.
I think this is a big deal though, and there's some DC folks that believe that 40%, while they're minority owners, could they find a way to take legal action after Dan to try to get minority ownership away from him, majority ownership away from him, to buy up another 11%?
Huh.
That's a few DC people that I've followed, and that could just be hopeful, wishful thinking of just everybody wanting Dan Snyder out as an owner. Well, if you can get to 51%, then he's out as majority owner,
which means he's out of decision making.
You can run the team however you want and still have him around.
Yeah,
he still get paid. He still get the benefit of owning the team. He's no longer the face of the team anymore.
Ben jumps in on Twitch and says, does this show that Snyder is not going to change the name? I don't know that it necessarily shows that, but it may be that he is not doing exactly what they would prefer that he does with it, right?
Well, I don't know. I think there's a chance that it absolutely shows that he might just be unwilling to do it.
Well, I mean, again, we talked about it on the show last Friday, I guess it was, where he has said in the past he will never change the name.
Never change it, yeah. He has said that.
So,
and I will tell you, I wonder, does this come off the heels of if they change it to the Warriors, but keep it a Native American feeling? Like we have the Golden State Warriors. Not one person has ever associated them with Native Americans. Okay.
Yeah.
I never did. Maybe they are, and I just never did. But like, if he continues to follow the Native American mascot and style of everything, but changes it to the Warriors, I think that's something that might just be what pisses the owners off the most, is saying, I'm gonna give in to you, but I'm gonna continue to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
so
like
I'm
gonna
give
keeping the
just
logo.
enough to change, but not enough to appease anybody, because nobody's gonna tell me what to do. We live in a world in which people continue to do bad things, bad ideas. They stick with bad ideas strictly because other people are telling them what to do, and we don't like being told what to do.
Yeah. Now, you're 100% right. Damien said, FedEx, come to Chicago and guarantee rate, please. Damn, Reinsdorf.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with this. I think it could mean something, like that. He may not want. He has said, there are different reports that he doesn't want to change the logo at all.
Yeah.
So if that's
they change
the case,
it to the Warriors, they'll keep the same logos.
And if they change to the Red Tails, they will have to change the logo.
All the logos. Yeah.
And I think maybe the logos and whatnot are part of the problem. But, I mean, obviously, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see what's going on. This is all stuff that will be happening down the road.
I want to be careful. I love Fred Smith. I love FedEx. Okay, we're the local Memphis people, and he has done an amazing thing for our town, our city. These guys aren't heroes.
That's true.
They bought something at, I would guesstimate, let me use even numbers, at $100, and they're going to sell it for $400.
Yeah,
they're not
losing money.
Not heroes here. They just don't want to be associated, and they'll all be right back in with a different NFL team in 5 minutes if they want to be, because they have money and they're not against the NFL. No one wants to be associated with Dan. And the only people that are going to want this are people that have been trying to buy ownership in the teams, and nobody will let them in the door because there's a lot of gatekeepers. And you to get through that gate, it's tough.
Yes.
So you got to buy something you don't really want.
It certainly is. It certainly is. With that said, speaking of changing teams, Antonio Brown last weekend was spotted working out with, and not even spotted, he posted it on his Instagram page. It became a huge thing on TMZ, everything else. He is working out with the Seattle Seahawks. He has been running routes with Geno Smith. He's been running routes with Russell Wilson. And he posted and said, who would like to see this fall? Give me your thoughts here. I don't really know what to make of this. I think he's going to get suspended, a certain number of games or whatever, but maybe not the whole season. And the Seahawks do have a need.
And you want him at the back end. You don't care about the first 4 weeks. Okay.
But is it only 4? I mean, it could be 8. Like, even if it's half the year.
Yeah, let him take any type of suspension.
Oh, we're losing Chris here.
Whatever it is, and it probably won't.
We are losing Chris.
Still with me?
Yeah, I got you here.
You still with me?
Yeah, I got you.
Right, sorry about that. All of a sudden, literally, I just had a blip that said unstable internet real quick.
It's all good. It's all good. We got you.
It won't be 16. It won't be 12. Okay. So all you need is for him to have 4 or 5 games under his belt to get his wheels back and
in time for the playoffs,
be able to work with the team, and in the playoffs. That's what you want him for anyway. Then nobody has any game film on him or how you're going to use him a whole lot going into the playoffs. They can make a hell of a run.
Yeah, I mean, the two guys that they've really got are Lockett and Metcalf. You toss in Brown with that bunch, and and all of a sudden Russell Wilson is dangerous.
Lockett is all about speed, and those guys fall off fast.
Yeah.
Last year, towards the end of the year, Lockett was starting to get caught a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And it could have been fatigue. It could have been minor injuries that weren't big enough to be on an injury report, but just struggling with, this is what 16 weeks of football will do to you kind of thing. If he's on the downward at all, they got decaf and nobody else, because the way Lockett plays football is if he loses his speed, we see those receivers come and go all the time. They'll be dominant, jobless.
Yeah. No, you're dead on.
And I was worried about that last year. I love watching Lockett play. That guy, when he is on, he is lightning.
Ben jumped in on Twitch, said Metcalf and AB, yikes. And then
Damian, that's scary as hell.
Oh, yes. Damian said whoever signs AB better still have that special gear he wants.
Nah, I think I'll tell you this. I think Pete Carroll's the perfect coach for him. I really do.
I mean, think about what he did.
If Pete can't get with him and deal with him, nobody in the league can.
No, you're 100% right.
DONE done. If Pete can't do it,
no, you're.
There's not a more player-friendly coach in the business.
No, he would be the perfect landing spot for him.
And I think Russell's a strong enough leader and has control of that locker room well enough to kind of keep AB in check.
No, I think you're right about that. I mean, you're dead on. I'm looking to see if there is anything else that has popped up. Have you seen anything?
No, I mean, just a bunch of baseball scheduling stuff coming out, and that we're just going to see that rolling through over time.
Ian Rappaport gave out a different number than did you see this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Mahomes deal. Ian Rappaport came out 28 minutes ago and said the Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes have agreed to terms on a 10-year extension worth $503 million. He gets $477 million in guarantee mechanisms and gives the ability for Mahomes to have outs if the guarantee mechanisms are not exercised. There is a no trade clause.
So that's different. This is why.
That's insane. That's different than Schefter.
When we get the headline deals, those are all speculation until we get details.
Yeah.
And I want to see how much is front loaded, how much is back loaded, because there are smart ways of doing these deals and there are dumb ways of doing the deals. Manny Dalton way was a smart way. All they had to do was not pay him for 2019 and cut it and go find some other chump quarterback to tank with, which is what they did anyway. Why did you pay $16 million to Andy? Save that $16 million. And then you have other teams that do things that are so outside the box, something I've never seen or heard of before. In the 49ers, they traded for Jimmy G. When they gave Jimmy G their extension, Jesus, the Mississippi came out of that.
Yeah.
When they gave Jimmy G his extension, they had $45 million of free cap money that year that they had to spend. They had to spend it. So they front load it instead of back load it. And he got like 30% of his 5-year extension in his first year. That means year 2, 3, 4, and 5, they're getting him on the crazy cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there are ways of looking at these deals. You just never want to look at a deal and say, this is the deal. It's never, 10 years, $500 million. Oh, it's $50 million or whatever. It's never that. It's never that.
No, you're right.
The detail is everything. We'll know who's right and who's wrong. I'll tell you this. This might be blasphemy growing up and just following ESPN my entire life and Adam Schefter being what he's been in my life for as long as he has. I would trust Ian's reporting over Adam's reporting.
I agree with you 100%.
Ian has proven that he doesn't care if he's the first. He'd rather be the right.
Yeah.
And coming out basically 2 hours after the report.
Coming out with the actual details.
But having a right number shows he's really good at his job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. So close out with these two, by the way. Joseph Gomez said, just a matter if AB wants to play for the coach, make sure you keep him away from the cryo chamber. And Damon said, wait, doesn't it snow in Seattle? Better hope he doesn't get frostbite. Yeah, just ridiculous. We'll close out with this. Rest in peace, Charlie Daniels. It's another one lost. We've lost a bunch of them through this whole thing. This was not COVID-related. This was he had a stroke.
I mean, you lived the way Charlie lived. The fact that he made it this long.
83 years, man. So Devil went down to Georgia, a whole bunch of other stuff. I saw Charlie Daniels multiple
I'm going to tell you
times.
this.
Yeah.
Not what we want to tell kids, but him and like Keith Richards and folks like that, listen, we might have been lied to about the dangers of drugs growing up.
We ain't even going to tackle that today. But you're right. You dead on. You were dead on.
How the hell do you explain these folks?
It doesn't make any sense at all. It makes no sense.
I'm just playing. Don't do drugs. They're bad. I'm just kidding.
With that said, rest in peace, Charlie. You will be missed. Hell of a showman, hell of a songwriter, fantastic fiddle player, fantastic. I mean, just unbelievable guy. Unbelievable guy. With that said, that's going to wrap up the show. Of course, go to winningcureseverything.com. Make sure you subscribe everywhere that you need to subscribe, whether it be on the live show or on the podcast. If you're doing it on the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a nice review. You guys know what to do there. And go on over to sportsbookreview.com. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube page over there. That's where our college football content will be this fall. So make sure you don't miss anything. Starting on August 1st, that will be our first video over there. So make sure you know what's going on. All of that to say this. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and tweet at us.